This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so what we discussed, uh, okay, so we completed this one, right? And let's discuss about another LOD. What is that? What are the types of LODs? What are the types of LODs?
Include, exclude.
Yeah, next LOD is include LOD. So if you look at using the fixed LOD, we can fix the measure aggregation at a required level of dimensions other than the report. So the measure aggregation is fixing at a specific dimension level. Okay, whereas comes to the include LOD, the similarly it is also same, like we can aggregate the measure at a required level dimension I mentioned under including that level to the report level dimension. So we are aggregating a measure at a required level of dimension, and we are including that level of aggregation to the report level dimension. That means, for example, so let's take an example of category sales. Where is the sales? This is a category by sales. So we wrote some LODs, right? Category level sales by using fixed LOD. Category level sum of sales. This is a category level sum of sales. Okay. Mm, for example, include at a category level sum of sales. Did you find any difference between these three? So when you are placing and going with an aggregation sum, so by default the measure values are same because all are at the same level. Sum of sales. This is report level dimension aggregation aggregated at category level. This is at a category. I mean, we have fixed at a category level, so it is showing category level sales. So here I'm using sum of include at a category level. So the sale amount at a category level included into the report level. Okay, let's place a subcategory. So when you're placing the subcategory, the normal measure aggregation, what it is doing, it is aggregating at a subcategory level. Whereas comes to the LOD of category sales, what it is returning? It is returning measure aggregation at a category level. So what you understood? We are fixing the measure aggregation to the specified dimensions other than the report. So Without the report, this measure was aggregated at the specific dimension whatever we specified. Got it? So it is working as expected. So the measure aggregation already fixed at a category level. That's what category level information being shown. Whereas comes to this, here the measure aggregation of include aggregated at a category level. I mean, it was defined at a category level. That measure aggregation included into the report level dimensions. In the report, what I am doing, category, subcategory dimensions I am using. So category level sales being included at report level dimensions, that is category and subcategory. Got it? Now, so using this we cannot understand, because this one and this one having the same result. Okay, let's change a make a change in the aggregation sum to average. Let's make a change sum to average. Okay, if you look at here, the measure aggregation is differentiated. Bookcases sale amount division by number of records. Got it? Sum of sales of category level division by count of sales, then average of sales. I mean, sum of sales division by count of sales. Count of sale is nothing but count of records. You can take any measure or any dimension count. Got it? So whereas comes to this, the measure aggregation was different. So don't think like it is not getting aggregated. It is getting aggregated, but the thing we should understand how it is getting aggregated. Got it? So here we are performing average on include LOD. If you compare average of sales and sum of sales, normal sum of sales, both are returning the same result, but average of sales is returning some other result. Got it? But average of include LOD still similar to the sum of sales. Why? Because what we said, as per the definition, we can aggregate the measures at a required level of dimensions, and including that level dimension to the report level dimension. I mean, including that level aggregation to the report level dimensions. So it is fixed at a category level, right? So whenever you are aggregating this, when you are changing the aggregation to average, what it has to do, include LOD sales division by, you are included at which level, category level. Okay, by not number of records, number of categories. If you look at moreover, this is included at report level dimension. Report level I'm using bookcases, I mean subcategory. For example, bookcases sum of sales division by, this is a sale amount from how many number of categories? Only one number of category, that is furniture. Got it? Sum of sales division by 1 results sum of sales. Similarly for chairs, this is a sum of sales of the chairs division by, this is a sale amount of how many categories? Number of categories. Chairs sale amount part of how many categories? Only one category, right? Chairs is not repeated anywhere here. Chairs sale amount division by 1, that is again sale amount, it get returned. This is for binders. Binders sale amount division by number of categories. Number of categories means don't say 3 categories. For this binders, how many categories are included? One category, that is 310.042.006. Division by number of categories, one office supplies. Division by 1, that is sale amount. Let's take similar example. Include hyphen region. Here I am replacing category with the region. Include region. Let's place it in the report. If you look at the sum of sales, average of include, and the region level sales also same showing in the report. Got it? So what you have to understand here, this is a sum of sales. Average of include at category level, right? I mean category sales included at subcategory level, right? Similarly, region level sales included at subcategory level. Okay. So for your understanding, let's make the change in aggregation to average. If you look at now we could see some value, correct? So how this was calculated? Average of include region level sales. How it was calculated? Lakshmi, Krishna Prasanna.
Yeah.
ఎట్లా క్యాలిక్యులేట్ అవుతుంది? ఫర్ దిస్ నేను ఏమని చెప్పిన, here for example average of sales is calculated like sum of sales division by number of customer, I mean number of records. So 26 198 895 division by 52036 equal to 503.
Okay.
That is average. How we will calculate average? Total sales division by number of, right? So school 6 subjects marks ఉన్నప్పుడు what is the average score అంటే ఏం చెప్తాం?
Oh yeah. Total
Average mark.
divide by six. Mm.
Okay. So total marks gained division by number of subjects.
Yeah.
So that returns average of marks for all subjects. Correct. Similarly here, sum of sales division by number of records. I mean how many records? Part of this is sale 52,036. So division by 52,036 is 503. Got it? For example, this is average of include sales. This is a include sale amount at category level. So already you wrote a condition. I mean you wrote a LOD include category sum of sales. Correct? Not at a report level dimension. It's include a category sum of sales. So sum of sales obviously included into the report level. That's what a similar result will be shown as we shown for sum of sales. For include sales, when you are making to average, it is not getting changed. It got differentiated with the average of normal sales. Only the thing, Here it is taking number of records, division by number of records. Here it takes a number of categories. Number of categories means total 3 categories. It won't take 3 categories because the contribution of this sale amount contributed by how many categories. This is sale amount contributed by how many categories? Only one category, correct?
One. Yeah.
Furniture. That's what it is showing like this. Whereas comes to this region level, include LOD, include region sum of sales. Okay. So similarly, when you replicated the example here, what will be the answer here? Sum of sales division by, here it is number of records, here it is number of categories, here number of regions.
Regions.
Correct. Because my LOD wrote at a region level. So obviously sum of sales at report level division by number of regions. Number of regions means what? This bookcases has sales, contributed sales into how many regions? Region. Okay. So let's find out for one subcategory, that is bookcases. Bookcases having sales in how many regions? 4 regions. Okay. So all the subcategories having sales in all the regions. When you take it to product level, maybe a product might not have a sale in other region, but mostly bookcases having sales in all the regions. Okay. So what is the contribution of bookcases sales into the number of regions? 4 regions. So when you are making the average, what it has to return? Sum of sales of bookcases division by 4. That is this one, 65,49,724. Got it? Okay. For this one also similarly same, sum of sales of the chairs division by number of regions. How many number of regions having chairs having sales in how many regions? 4 regions. 4. Obviously what it has to return? Sum of sales division by number of regions, that is 4. Let's open a calculator and check it manually. This is a sale amount, right? I mean the average of include only, but it is similar to sale amount. Let's take 202,740,926 division by number of regions 4. 50,000, 231. 50 lakhs is 68,000. No, 5 crore 68 lakhs. 5 crore 6 lakhs 85,231. Aggregated value is 232. Got it? So this is a sum of sales division by number of regions. Got it? So like this the way include LODs will give the result. Okay. So when you are writing a include LOD, it's a clear like whenever you are using any aggregation, include LOD if you go with the sum of our default aggregation, that is sum, if you go with that, the result will be similar to the other sum of sales or other sum of any aggregated result. But when you are making the change in the aggregation, then it starts differentiating with the defaulted average sales, because the calculation itself different. These three, one is average sales, to calculate that total sale amount division by number of records, whereas comes to average include for category level. What is that? So the category sale amount included into subcategory, so by default that includes to the report level dimension as per the definition. That is why it returns a normal sale amount. But when you are making the average sum of sales division by, instead of number of records, it takes a number of categories. So especially here, subcategory is part of only one category. Subcategory is not part of multiple categories, any subcategory. Okay, so that's what happened. Sum of sales division by number of categories. Number of categories is only one, because bookcase is part of only one category. Sum of sales by 1 is equal to, similarly sum of sales will be shown here. Got it? Similarly, when you are doing for average include region, so what happens? We wrote an aggregation region level sum of sales using include LOD. When you are dragging to the default aggregation sum, the result will be similar to the sum of sales. But when you are making change in aggregation to average, what it returns? It has to calculate sum of sales division by number of regions. Number of regions means bookcases having sales in all the regions. Similarly, all subcategories having sales in all the regions. So that what it returns? That means what? Obviously, sum of sales division by number of regions, that is 4. This is the measure aggregation. So, got it? Let's take a scenario for this. Display average customer sales it product wise average customer sale amount to be calculated. Product wise average customer sales has to be calculated. That is a scenario for include LODs. Okay, or is that makes any confusion here? Next, mm, so data blending we done. One more thing we should understand. So as of now, we are storing the file with the extension .twbx. Tableau file extensions. Okay, so twb .twbx. So what is the file I'm sharing with you?
TWBX.
So what it means? It is a Tableau packaged workbook. Tableau packaged workbook means it is having a copy of data source along with the workbook. So copy of data stored along with the saved along with the workbook. So whereas comes to TWB, it is a Tableau workbook. It does not have any copy of the data source. It stores, it saved with what? The only metadata of the metadata of the data source. Metadata of the data source means what? Structure information of the data source. Means what? Only structural information. So metadata structure information. For example, this is a TWB file, right? Okay, I'm saving as is. I'm replacing the existing one. Now I am saving with the TWB file. Try to understand. I have saved a TWB file. Moreover, we are still now we are discussed about only live connection. So when you are in the live connection, obviously the connection to the data source must be established. Without that, you cannot see the data in the report. Got it? So when you are in the live means what? The connection to the existing data source has to be present. Let's save this. So I have two files, LOD files. One is TWBX, another one is TWB. Let's I'm pulling the data from which data source? Sample superstore. I am removing this and placing outside of this folder. Similarly doing for previous version also. Mm, I'm not sure which data source I'm using. That's what I'm changing the source file location. Okay, for 2023, why I'm getting these two? Because I have two versions installed in my machine, 2022.4 and 2023.2. Okay, that is the reason when I'm having this uh, data source is similar for both sample superstore. So Excel sheets we connected. These all are the different data sources. It might be sample superstore, but data source is Tableau data source. Okay, so that's what, no need to worry. So I have removed sample superstore from existing two locations. Okay, now Let's close this. Clear out the temp. So when you are opening the files and all, Tableau creates one temp folder. So where you will have whatever data loaded into the report. Got it? So what we are doing now, we are clearing out the temp. If you look at these are the temp files we have. Okay, it's I don't think it is belongs to Tableau thing. Okay, let's go to documents, Tableau class, LOD, right? These two LODs I have. If you look at both are having same data source connected reports. Moreover, the visualizations everything same in both. Got it? If you look at file size, this is 10,071 KB. This is 688 KB. TWB file. If you look at TWBX, will have one stripe option, whereas comes to here, it's shown with the empty. That's a difference when you are getting the dashboard. Let's try to open these two. Wait. Hmm. Okay, this is a source location. Documents, Tableau report, Tableau class. Okay, let's open LOD. If you look at now you are facing an issue when you are opening TWB file. Why? Because so we have the data source in this location, users home documents tab class LOD files data. Okay, so this data source is not available now. Got it. If you look at we can see the metadata information, what all are the columns are there, what was the data source and everything. But the thing, the structure remains same. If you look at subcategory region, subcategory in the filters, everything showing subcategory as show filters here. Okay, except the data column name is part of the structure, data in the column is part of the data. Correct. So region is a column name. So whatever the data available under the region, that is called as a data. So this is TWB file. So when you are in the live connection, obviously we should have a successful connection to the data source. As the definition of TWB, it stores only metadata information of the report, structural information of the data source. What is the structure? Are table names, column names, their data types. This is the structure, but it won't store data of the data source, underlying data of the data source. When you are in the live connection, obviously our report has to have a successful connectivity to the data source. It will verify whether the data source available in the same location or not. It is verified. So to populate the visualization, it should have that data in the report. So the visualization has to be present. So as the data source is not available in existing location, it is throwing that error. Got it? This is with the TWB file. If you look at the asterisk, it is showing with some, what is this? Apostrophe S mark. Means what? It is invalid. So data source connection has to be located here. You can go with the edit connection, otherwise locate file. Using this, you can locate your data source again. Got it? So whereas comes to LOD TWBX file, for especially when we are working with the flat files, okay, if you remove or if any existing data source not present in location also, it shows previous month information, I mean previous deployment information. Got it? Yesterday you deployed with some data, yes, that will be available. Whereas comes to TWB, it should get data from the data source. It shows only metadata. Already we have some a copy of data source saved along with this workbook. So when you are navigating, it is able to show or visualize your content. When you are trying to edit the data source, okay. So when you are trying to edit the data source, it is directing you to the Tableau temp. Got it? What is the location? This is a Tableau temp location, right? So when a workbook having a data source, a copy of data source, when you are opening, that copy will be placed into the Tableau temp. So from where it was connected. But if you are making changes in underlying data source, that won't be updated in this report. To update that, you have to establish repoint the data source to the new source location where it was getting updated. So where is actual data source available? Under documents, my Tableau repository, data sources, sample superstore. So I mean based on your version. Got it. So that is the difference between TWB and TWBX. That will have only structural information. This is having copy of data source with what it is going to have. It is going to save along with the, I mean, it is going to save with a copy of data source. So without connection to original data source also, still you can able to see visualization, still you can able to interact with the report with your filters. But only the thing, if anything updated in underlying source file, that cannot be updated, because by default whenever it is loading, it is creating a temporary data source in temp table. Got it? So that is a difference between TWB and TWBX. Okay, so what I am saying, in live connection, when working with flat files without having original source file, still we can see the data in the report with you can see the data in the report with the visuals in the interact with the report. Okay, still you can do that, but maybe uh, any information that has been created and still original source will not be updated until source file connection repointed to the new location. Got it? This will happen. But for the same TWBX in live with any database system, we have to establish a connection first, then then only the data get the data get visualized in the report. But whereas comes to when you are working with database system in live connection, we must establish the connection to the source data source first, then only the data get visualized and you can able to interact. But especially for flat files, no need to establish connection to the data source, because the copy of data stored into the temp, you can interact with that. But here source connection has to be established, then only data get displayed. So this is the difference between TWB and TWBX. Got it? So I have given one scenario. Please